Talking about this border experience, I've also had my experience. First time saying this, me being an African, I was being deported.
Okay.
At this same Togo border, I was being deported. I was from Volta region going to Togo, and I got deported, and my camera was seized. As you had this experience at the border, the Togo-Benin border, do you think Africa is really a good place for us to be? Like somebody coming from the States to Africa, would you request Africa that, okay, Africa, the person should come to Africa because Africa is a good place to be?
I promote Africa, period. Now, as I said to people, it's not perfect. There's good and bad everywhere. Even if I'm in the States, there's a lot of things about the States that I can complain about. My experience at the border was horrific. It wasn't a positive one, but I would not tell people not to come to Africa based on that experience. I still promote Africa.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Aklevi. You know, if today is your first time watching my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bar. You can see there's this gorgeous lady close to me who had experienced this border troubles and so forth in Togo and Benin. So maybe we are just here to interview her concerning the experiences she had at the border. So maybe if you can just tell us something about you, we'll be okay.
Sure. Well, my name is Nana Abana, and I'm originally from San Francisco, California in the USA.
Okay.
I've been in Ghana now for, well, this time since June of 2021. But I initially started coming here back in 1995 by the invitation of Dr. Wade Nobles. Started coming back and forth, lived in Kumasi, went back to the States, then I went to China, and finally, here I am in Ghana again since June of 2021.
Okay, so why did you choose to live in Ghana?
People ask me that all the time, and the truth of the matter is I didn't choose Ghana. Ghana chose me. And again, when Dr. Wade Nobles, I was working with him in the States, he had been bringing groups of professors, college professors, here to Ghana just to tour, study, and stuff like that. So I was working with him doing some consultation, and he said, hey, the next time I come, why don't you come with me? Next time I go to Ghana, why don't you come with me on one of those trips? I said, definitely. I did, and on that trip, I met a traditional priest and his family who invited me to come and stay an extended period of time, and the rest is history. So I started coming back and forth from there, then people started saying, hey, the next time you go, I want to go with you. That turned into Nana Abana's tour company, and it's just been a snowball effect. So Ghana chose me. Yes.
So why did you choose to have this Ghanaian name as Nana Abana?
That was given to me. Nana Abana was given to me by the traditional priest who I said I stayed with sometime in Kumasi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you the one who requested for the name, or maybe they wanted to just change your name to Nana Abana?
No, I requested for a name. You know, coming back to Africa, Ghana being a gateway, it was for me. It was a search for self. So I asked to be given a name, you know, so I'm Tuesday born.
Yeah.
That was very easy, you know, so yeah.
So did you pay for the naming ceremony as they were doing the naming ceremony for you? Did you pay?
Absolutely not. I didn't even go through a naming ceremony. I stayed with them and that family for 6 months, my children and I. We stayed on the compound with them and their family and just became family, and my name came that way.
So as you're in Ghana now, maybe I think you're supposed to marry somebody from Ghana. What do you have to say?
I have to say I have to marry somebody who's a good, honest person,
yeah,
who's trustworthy, who's loving and kind, and I don't care where that person's from.
Yeah, fine, but so as far as you're in Ghana and you think Ghana chose you, you have to get everything from Ghana. So maybe marrying somebody from Ghana will also help. Or what do you think?
I don't think it's such a bad idea. But then if I ask a Ghanaian, they're going to say, okay, you should marry an Ashanti. No, then he's going to say, no, no, no. How about Krobo? No, no, no. Your Ghanaian husband has to be Ewe. So then what do I do?
Wow, that's good, you know. Let's not talk about your private life. You know, this is not what we came for. So we should just put the private life aside.
Okay.
Maybe that is your private stuff. So I don't want to talk about it more. As you had this experience at the border, the Togo-Benin border, do you think Africa is really a good place for us to be? Like somebody coming from the States to Africa, would you request Africa that, okay, Africa, the person should come to Africa because Africa is a good place to be?
I promote Africa, period. Now, as I said to people, it's not perfect. There's good and bad everywhere. Even if I'm in the States, there's a lot of things about the States that I can complain about. My experience at the border was horrific. It wasn't a positive one, but I would not tell people not to come to Africa based on that experience. I still promote Africa.
Wow. So what happened? Can you just tell us what happened at the border?
Okay, so we were on our way to Benin. I actually was gonna travel alone and just take a car alone. And then I decided, well, no, let me not do that. Let me find a group of people that I can travel with. So there was a sister who was organizing the trip. I got in on their trip. We get to the first border, which is the Togo border. And it was just, it's not easy. They ask you questions. We've already paid for our passports. We've already paid for our visas. They take us through all of this just detaining. It was just horrific. And then the people who have their ECOWAS cards that are supposed to move freely, they're detained and held up and expected to pay something. It's just not right, so that was that experience. And then we get to the second border. When we want to cross to Benin, where all the ruckus took place, and it was just a bad situation. So as I'm trying to film, because I always have my camera with me, of course, they tried to take our cameras. Myself, Maya, there were some other people there. They wanted to take our cameras, and I wasn't going to give up my camera. He wasn't going to give up his camera, so then we kind of got in a little scuffle. We were taken to a back room and kind of questioned, and there was one guy there who kind of worked everything out for us, and we were free to go and to pass. But it was a bad experience.
But yes, still did you pay for
I had to pay. I paid. I want to say I had to pay something like 2,000 cedis to move across.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they put their stamp inside my passport, but then they never gave me a receipt. So then we were all asking for, okay, we've paid, why can't we get a receipt? Oh, well, we're not going to give you a receipt. How can you want me to pay money, but you don't want to give me a receipt? Which made me suspect that, hey, something is happening here.
Maybe it's supposed to be a bribery or
like something illegal is happening, and they're always all working together. So it's like, it's really unfortunate. First of all, I was upset because we can't move freely through Africa. They have all these borders to begin with. Coming from the United States of America, I couldn't imagine being in California and then having to pay to go somewhere like Nevada, or having to pay to move to Utah or to Washington. Every time I cross a border from one state to the next, I would have to pay and have a visa. I just can't imagine that. But that's what it's like here, and I don't think it's right.
Don't you think Africans are our own downfall?
We are our own downfall. We are our own downfall, but we can't blame it all on us. And here's the thing. We have been, when I say we, I'm talking about African Americans, have been taken from here to the Americas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Africans are here. They don't have all of that history. So it's about us coming together, working together, getting to know each other, talking, communicating, where we can learn more about each other so that these sort of things don't happen. So, colonization had a lot to do with everything that's happening, even the border issues. So what can we do about that? Communicate, not stand for it, not support it. A lot of times I get people saying stuff like, well, that's just the system. That's just how it is. You're in Africa. So that sounds like to me you're for it. You're supporting it.
Yeah.
You'll pay. I get stopped at police checks and people are asking me for money. Police officers. I've had police officers take money from me, literally. So it's one of those things that I dislike most about being here.
Talking about this border experience, I've also had my experience, but because I'm being a target, I don't want to speak out. Maybe today is my first time saying this. Me being an African, I was being deported.
Okay.
At this same Togo border, I was being deported. I was from Volta region going to Togo. and I got deported, and my camera was seized. And you know, because I wasn't having anybody behind me to maybe a top-notch person or personalities just to say something for them to give me my camera, I have to leave the camera there. And up to now, I've never gone for the camera. If you being a leader in Africa, what would you have to change in Africa?
First of all, if I was a leader in Africa, my stand would be a United States of Africa, one Africa.
Yeah.
That's what I would be. That would be my platform. And every leader that I came in contact with, I'd enroll them into that possibility of there being one Africa. And I don't know if that's ever possible for Africa, but I hold it in my heart as a possibility because I feel like we're so much stronger collectively than we are separately, you know. And false borders, you know, because I might speak a different language than you. I go to Togo and they're speaking French. Here in Ghana, we're speaking English, and so that makes us different. You know, those are things that are just not real. You know, so as a leader, that would be the platform that I would stand on.
But,
one Africa.
Yeah, but don't you think what Africans are doing to each other will bring back this slavery to Africa again?
I don't want to say that there ever be slavery again. You know, the biggest slavery that we do have that we have to rise above is the mental slavery. You know, it's not so much the physical, but our minds are so stuck in the past. Our minds are so stuck in those things that keep us down. You know, once we take those shackles off of our minds, I think we can move.
The reason why I'm asking this is because my experience at the border is that when they see a white man, they let a white man go freely. But when they see an African, they see a diaspora, an African American, they always want to stock some money from the person before they let the person go. Like, don't you think it's craziness for an African to be treating a white man special than an African?
Absolutely, but where does that come from? Again, it's a mindset. You know, I mean, we don't have to get deep into the conversation of religion on this camera, in this interview, but just why would you allow someone to come to your country and take away your religion, a traditional religion, and replace it with Christianity, which is something that's really, really, really prevalent here. I don't understand that fully and completely. But again, all of those systems have to do with colonization and coming here and bringing a different mindset than was initially here as an African. So again, once we break those mental chains, I think we'll be a lot better as a people.
So what were you thinking when you were having a fight with the officials at the border? What were you thinking?
I was thinking exactly what I'm saying. First of all, why do I have to pay money to go from here to there when it's just right there? It reminded me of moving from California to Las Vegas. Now, California, Las Vegas, the Nevada border in California, it's just right there. It's like 3 hours away from my hometown. I can get to Nevada, you know? And that's like moving from Accra to the Togo border. It's only like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's not that far away. And you get there and it's this total different country and you're treated a total different way with a total different language. In my mind, I couldn't conceive of that. And again, it made me think of having one Africa and the possibility of that and what it would take for the leaders to say, okay, we are one people. We're all African. Collectively, we're so much stronger than we are divisively, you know, and all those little things that divide us, you know, tribe, language, culture, you know, it's like, I don't understand it.
You know, Africa has so many language barriers, you know, so definitely if you are talking about getting one common language, do you think it's going to be possible for us to get one common language?
It doesn't necessarily have to be a common language. I don't think there's anything wrong with having those differences, those types of differences, language differences, even as a tribe, still holding on to your culture and your tradition of that particular tribe, but understanding the bigger picture that we are one people. Now, with that, what are the things that we do have in common? looking at those things, the things that we do have in common as Black people. Where can we stand? What principles and morals and guidelines can we stand on that promote us as one people as opposed to us being a separate people? Because there's strength in numbers. So, we break down the whole when we divide ourselves with borders and all these different things. Africa's the strongest place on the planet. That's why I'm here. It's the strongest place on the planet. There are natural resources everywhere. Everything that we need is here in Africa. Everything that we have in the world came from here. So keeping us separate, you got some people in the diaspora, not just in the Americas, but in Europe and other places of the world. Call those people back. Then the people that are already here come together and let's be one Africa.
But don't you think, for me, I'm sorry to say, but I'm not trying to disgrace Africa because I'm an African. When you go to Europe, there's no border. Whenever you want to move from one country to another country. So why is it that Africa wants to reason up just to change those kind of things that are happening at the border? Maybe they have to do a free border, a free port for the Africans to live good. Don't you think so?
I agree. I totally agree. I mean, it makes sense to me, but my experience, and I don't know, I can't say that I know why it's not happening, but my personal experience is everybody wants to be the leader. If I say that I'm collectively going to give up sole authority of my country or my region and come together with somebody else, that means I have to give up power. Power is a powerful thing. Yeah. Everybody wants power. Everybody wants to be the boss.
Yeah.
So what does it take when you're working with other people? Everybody can't be just the boss. Yeah. You know what I mean? You have to reason. You have to compromise with other people.
Yeah, because you can't control anybody. Because everybody's a boss, right?
Everybody's a boss. So that's an issue, That's a big issue. I mean, it is what it is. We're human beings, and certain things we just have to rise above.
Sure. You made mention of this negative stuff, or this negative impact in Africa. So maybe if you're supposed to recommend somebody to come to Africa, you will not recommend somebody to come to Africa. But what don't you like? Why don't you just tell them the truth about Africa? Maybe this is Africa. Most people say Africa are really poor, but I really don't understand. I don't believe that to be a place that is really for the poor. But don't you think African economy is also affecting some of the Africans in the continent?
Absolutely. You have poverty in a lot of places here, which, people, they want to get out of poverty. So, when you have poverty and the economy's bad, it breeds certain behaviors naturally. People steal, people cheat, people rob, people extort, all these different things. So how do you boost the economy? And why is the economy as it is when you have so many resources? Everybody here is not poor. I see people driving big cars. There's politicians. Who's chopping the money here? Where's all the money going? Why are there bad roads here? I have all these questions. When I know that there's money here, there's resources here, why aren't we producing more and sending it out into other parts of the world as opposed to buying and having it come here and then going in debt when we have the resources right here? Why? I have questions. If you have the answers, hit me up, please.
I know one beautiful lady from California, and she's Coco. Okay. She's Coco. Uh-huh. She never trusted me. She always thinks I'm a scammer. She always thinks I'm stalking money from her or anything like that. Meanwhile, I've not asked her for money. I've not asked her for anything. Why would you guys? Maybe I just want to label you, just to label you this way. I'm sorry, but why would you diasporas or maybe African American thinks some African over here wants money from you guys?
Because it's experience. It's experience. I've been here this particular time since June of 2021. And the thing that I like least about being here is the fact that I feel like I always have to look over my shoulder. I'm always in a battle, fighting people off because they want to take something from me. You know, if I get into a taxi and I want to go somewhere, as soon as they hear my American accent, I'm charged more. If I go into a market to buy tomatoes, I'm charged more. People see me, I go to get some clothes tailored, I'm charged more. Everybody's trying to look at different ways that they can get something from me. So that's an experience that I personally have. And that's an experience that I know a lot of people from the diaspora have, you know. But again, it comes back to the economy. You expect that since I have dollars that, you know, you can somehow get those dollars from me. And so I understand it, but it's annoying. It's annoying. And I know that not everybody in certain places are the same, you know?
Yeah.
I can't say that and generalize and say because I've met 20 bad Africans or 20 bad Ghanaians that have tried to take something from me that I can't meet one who might be genuine and kind and loving and sincere. But out of those 20 bad ones, it makes it hard for me to trust that one.
Sure.
And that's just the truth of it, you know, that I'm targeted. You know,
but is it necessary for you to have that kind of bad mindset towards an African?
I don't think it's a bad mindset. I think it's more of a protective mindset. You know, because for me personally, I can't speak for Coco, but for me, I'm here with my 2 children. I have school fees. You know, I don't even go abroad as much as I used to. So the same economy that's affecting me, that's affecting you, is affecting me.
Yeah.
But because you see me as an American, as a foreigner, foreign to you, not a black woman, not your sister, then the expectations is that I have more, you know? Not that you don't think about my school fees. You don't think that I have to buy books, that I have to pay transportation, just like you do, that I have to make sure that I have rent and water and all those things. My phone is paid, I got data, you know, all of these things. I gotta buy food, you know. So all of these things that affect you affect me, but you don't see it that way. So it's more, not so much that a bad mindset, but, you know, I have to protect myself.
Sure.
So I have to look over my shoulder. Do I like it? No, I don't. I want to be at ease and comfortable. But I know that I'm seen as a foreigner, and I know that I'm targeted, and I know that I'm seen different.
So what is it that you like about Africa?
Oh, the things that I like. I'd much rather focus on that. I love the culture. I love the rich tradition. I love the land. I love that you do have opportunities here that you don't have in America. Like if you're creative, if you're creative and you can, you know, think of a business for yourself. You know, you don't have to go through all the red tape of, you know, licensing and all this. Sure, you have to register your business, but it's not the same as we have to do all this stuff we have to go through in the States.
Okay.
So pretty much if you can dream it, imagine it, you can create it. You can manifest things here a lot faster. You know, and this is an independent nation. I love that. You know, I'm with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I believe the black man can govern himself. I believe that. You know, so there's an opportunity to show and prove from here, right here on African soil, that the black man and woman can govern themselves.
Sure.
So
far so good. How many cultures have you experienced so far in Africa?
Oh, I'd have to think about that, but definitely I've been up north. I've been up north to Yendi and Kumasi, the Shanti region. Ewe, I spent time in the Volta. I've been to Benin. I've been to Senegal, Togo. You know, where else have I been? Nigeria. So quite a bit of West Africa I've seen. Ivory Coast, I've experienced some Ivory Coast. Yeah.
So definitely you are also a traveler like me. Like me too.
Definitely a traveler.
You know, you know, most of the time, my agenda is to help Africans, you know, and then also to help people with disabled and other stuff. You know, most of the time when you are out there asking somebody from, maybe you are an African, asking somebody out there in the United States and you want a person to help you do something, the person might be thinking you want to get money out of him or her, and you know, it's really baffles me a lot if somebody show an interest in helping me in doing something, and later the person will tend to be like, you want my money, you want to take this, you want to do that. I really don't understand why you will be choosing to help somebody, and at the end of the day you be telling me somebody, or maybe I want your money or anything like that. I really don't know. That is what is really baffling me about people out there in the United States of America. I don't understand.
So let me get this straight now. Are you specifically asking people from the United States for the help, or are they offering their help?
You know, the issue is that I have this disability people that I normally help. So when I post videos of them, maybe I post pictures of them, people show interest in helping them. You got it? So when they send me some money, I go, I offer the money to them, I take pictures, then I send it out. But at the end of the day, some people, not maybe if you were the one who gave me the money, another person somewhere will be thinking I am spending the money for myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's always people who might think that, you know, when donations come in, you can't control how a person thinks. As long as you know what you're doing with the money, and you know what your intentions are, then that's all that matters, you know, because you know if you're doing the right thing or not. So those people who want to send money from their heart to assist in whatever you're promoting, allow them. Because wherever you go, there's going to be people who say this and that, you know, but what's in your heart? What do you have in your heart?
You know, one very factor is that I want people to see your hairstyle. I want people to know who you are, because I think there's a scarf on your hair, so maybe they wouldn't see the one fighting, you know, on the border. So
I'm the woman with the gold hair.
Yes.
I'm really her. I am the woman with the gold hair who was fighting with Wodamaya at the border.
Yeah.
That's me. Yeah, I had my hair covered, but yes.
You know, you definitely look like a warrior when I saw the video.
I look like a warrior?
Yeah, you were so strong enough, you know, controlling stuff, you know, like you were shouting. I was hearing your voice, and it was so amazing.
Yeah, you have to take a stand. I could have easily said, okay, yes, please take my camera. But no.
At that moment, you weren't able to control your temper at all.
No.
I saw you were really angry.
Yes, because I was angry because I had just gone through something similar at the Togo border, where we had been detained there as a group. There were like 21 of us. They had kept us there for like 2 hours already. Wow. So now we move forward, and at the next border, this is happening. It was too much. It was too much. And then we ended up having to stay all night in Togo because we didn't realize that the day we were traveling, Benin was having their election. So the border was shut down and we couldn't move until the following day. Wow. So yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but no, I wasn't gonna just give them my camera.
But you definitely had an army at that moment, you know. You had a strong army.
Definitely. We actually stood together, all of us. It was very interesting. You know, sometimes it's just fate, you know, because we at the first border, we happened to run across Wodamaya. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
He was just there, you know, having a human experience with us. At the same time, it wasn't about his camera, it wasn't about my camera. We were just having a human experience, trying to get from Ghana to Benin for the festival. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, and then when we got to the next border, same thing. All of us were just trying to move. It was just a human experience that happened to get caught on camera.
Well, what do you have to tell your people out there? What do you have to tell them about Africa? What do you have to tell them that they should come to Africa, they should promote Africa?
I just want to say that, first of all, African is for Africans.
Yeah.
You know, and there's just so much that's possible here. And I want to stress,